Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Shining Waters Yoga. This evening, Wednesday, December the 16th, is going to be my last Wednesday night live stream on my YouTube channel. Beginning next week, I'll be live streaming from my new NamaStream site. You can find a link to that on my website, shiningwatersyoga.com. Also my Facebook page, and I believe it's also on the YouTube channel now. If you go to individual videos, and I'll plug it in on this one as well once it's recorded, just to direct you there if you're interested in more classes on Wednesdays. And beginning in January, I will be doing live stream classes from that site on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. If you can't join at those times, all those classes will be recorded, and they'll also be available for you whenever you're able to practice. If you have a monthly subscription, you can also purchase single classes or 10 class packages. So that's all on the NamaStream site. And I will from time to time record little classes and snippets on my YouTube channel as well, but not on a regular basis anymore. There's a ton of videos already on there, and there's also several on my Facebook page that you're welcome to use at any time. I don't plan to take them down. They will live there, and so you'll have access to them whenever. But the new classes will all be on NamaStream. So without further ado, a class that focuses on core strength and stability. And I'm using this amazing book again. Actually, let me come up close so you can see it. Undrowned. So Black Feminist Lessons from Marine Mammals by Alexis Pauline Gumbs. This is such an amazing book. She is not paying me to say this, but I can't promote it highly enough. It's such a great book to teach from. I could incorporate this into yoga, mindfulness. It's just, we talked 2 weeks, breath and presence. She has a whole chapter on that, which is what yoga is, right? Breathing, our breath brings us to the present moment. We use that practice in not just in our yoga, but in our mindfulness and our meditation practices. And then tonight, I want to build on that and read you just a little bit as an intro to our class from the fourth chapter, which is called Practice. And she's talking about dolphins and their dorsal fin. She says, what are the intergenerational practices that generated dorsal fins in some dolphins and whales? What experience-based wisdom resulted in the ever-expanding spines and blubber of bowhead whales, or the adaptation of sideways swimming river dolphins? What do the blue whales know that lets them fast all day and sing across the planet? I believe in the possibility of dorsal or stabilizing practices in our own lives. Just think about that, stabilizing practices in our own lives. What gives you stability in your life? Committed to the development of backbone and core muscle in the crooked life of at least one person with scoliosis, she says in parentheses, me. We can cultivate practices for finding each other in a shifting world. We can each create an intentional approach to what we take in and put out. What are the intergenerational and evolutionary ways that we become what we practice? Give you a minute to just take that in. How can we navigate oppressive environments with core practices that build community, resistance, and more loving ways of living? And then I'm going to skip the next paragraph, but just to go back one more part here, she talks about the function of dorsal fins for aquatic animals is stability. In water that is always moving, having a dorsal fin provides balance, autonomy, and support for the swift turns you might have to make in this oceanic life. Yes, I need a dorsal fin to navigate all of this transformation. There's so much packed in those couple paragraphs I just read to you that we could build upon. But just to start in the hour or so that we have, I want you to please find a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. It does not have to be cross-legged, but come to find your sits bones on the floor. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Notice how you're sitting, if you're kind of leaning forward or if you're slumping into your lower back, and try to correct that. So maybe just rocking the pelvis back and forth a little bit, right? Tuning in to this center of our being, so important for our stability, our pelvis, and finding neutral, whatever that is for you. Take a moment to feel your spine rising up from the tail to the crown. And just notice any tension that you may or may not have along the spine, the lumbar spine or the middle of the back. Sometimes we get tension caught up right around in the center of the back or up in the cervical spine, even the thoracic or the cervical spine. Take a moment to notice your shoulders, if they feel like they're carrying the weight of the world. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale and sigh it out. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling through your nose. Maybe shrug the shoulders up to your ears. And exhale. Sigh it out. It's okay to make some sound, right? Like our dolphin friends. Inhale through your nose and exhale. And then draw your awareness to your breath. Start to find a rhythm for your breath, for your breathing. Maybe it's already there, or maybe your breath feels a little uneven or jagged. Intentionally smooth out those edges now, breathing in and breathing out. And if you like, I invite you to begin Ujjayi breathing, so that ocean sounding breath, along with our theme of dolphins and dorsal fins. So closing the throat a little bit as you inhale to make that audible breath, and exhaling, keep that the back of the throat engaged as you exhale. So it's the same thing you do when you whisper or you fog a window with that, or you make that sound like when you whisper. You're closing the throat a little bit. You're using those throat muscles. Inhale. And exhale. Keep breathing. Find your rhythm of breath. Let's take 3 more rounds. And then opening the eyes if they're closed. Inhale the arms, reaching overhead. Maybe let the palms touch. Maybe you look up to the sky, deep breath. And exhale the arms down to the floor in front of you. Begin to fold over your legs. Maybe walk the hands out a little farther. Maybe shift your weight side to side. Maybe your forehead comes down onto the earth. Maybe not. Feel the stretch in your hips and your lower back. Gently walk your hands back up. And we'll go ahead and take the legs so that we're facing the left, bending your left knee and bringing the left foot just to the top of the right thigh. So a Z sit. You could sit up in your blanket if you need it. I'm taking mine out. I want to be flat for this. But sit however, if you feel like you're rounding in the spine, you can sit up on that blanket. Find your Z sit. And the first thing we're going to do is just take the hand to the hip and gently move your hip forward, lifting it up off the floor, and then exhale and come back to center. So gently rocking forward. It's a very small movement, and then bringing that hip back down to the earth. Move with your breath. Just preparing the hip for more movement. And then inhale, release the arm, bring it overhead, and exhale it down to the floor. So both hands are on the outside of your left thigh. Start to round down, bringing your forehead towards the earth. And then inhale, arching the spine to come up, just like you're diving underwater. I'm actually going to shift so you can see a little bit better. Inhale, and then exhale, dive down. Inhale to come up. Let's put all that together. Exhale as you round and dive down towards the floor. Inhale to come up. And exhale, diving back down. You can use that Ujjayi breath. And release back to center. Let's go ahead and take the feet out in front of us, wider than hips, a little bit wider than hips, and windshield wiper your legs side to side, allowing the knees to just go back and forth. And then the next time both knees come over to the right, let them stay there. Bring the right foot just to the top of the left thigh. And you can bring your left foot in some. So we're in that Z sit, that Z shape. And then let's begin with taking the left hand on the hip and just lifting that hip as you sort of twist towards the right and exhale it back down. So your hand is just guiding the hip. Inhale to lift up and exhale back down. Moving that hip gently back and forth. And then the next time you come down, inhale to lift your arm back up. Exhale, bring both hands to the side. So you actually come into a little bit of a twist. Sit up nice and tall, breathe in. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to round your back, bringing your forehead or even the crown of your head down towards the inhale up. Use that Ujjayi breath if you can. Maybe your nose even touches the floor. Last one. And come back to center. Drop the knees side to side. Bring those knees side to side. And then bring the feet in so that they're hip width apart. You're going to take your hands, plant your hands behind you. So fingers are forward. I'm going to show you from the side. Wrists should be pretty much under your shoulders. Elbows are bent. We're going to inhale and lift the sternum. Some of you might stay here. You walk your feet out a little bit to give yourself space. If you can, press down through your feet, press down through your hands. Inhale, lift those hips up off the floor and look up to the ceiling. Breathe. Any discomfort here with the shoulders or the hands, just come back down. And exhale to come back down. Let's do that one more time. As you're ready, press down through your feet and your hands and inhale and lift the hips up, open the chest. Feel that stretch across your chest and shoulders. If it's too much, just come back down. We'll all come down when we're ready. We're going to transition now onto our backs. So walking the feet in a little bit. Take your hands to the top of your thighs. I want to release a little tension around the back, and we'll get into some deeper core work. So really pressing the heels of your hands into the tops of your thighs, right where your legs meet your pelvis. Inhale, push into the thighs. See if you can exaggerate that tilt as your pelvis tilts forward on the inhale, and then exhale and release everything back down to the floor. Exhale and release. So continuing that movement, rocking the pelvis forward and back. Don't worry if you don't get a lot of movement here, depending on your individual pelvis. If your pelvis tends to tilt backwards, then it might be very difficult for you to tilt it forward. You might not get a lot of movement. That's okay. Just be present and aware of what is happening as you breathe in. Maybe there's a little space here under the lower back. And as you exhale, everything releases back down. And then the next time you inhale, arch the lower back, stay there. So hold that arch, exhale. Inhale again. And exhale back down to the floor. Inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, the arms come down, straighten your legs up towards the ceiling. We'll do this a couple of times, moving back and forth. Bring the feet back down. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale the arms down by your sides. Straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. Again, inhale, arms overhead, feet come down. Exhale, arms come down, feet go up. Feel the engagement of your lower belly here. One more time. Let's take the arms overhead. Inhale, feet come down. Exhale, straighten the legs, arms come down. And then just take a moment, maybe hold this stretch, stretching the backs of the legs. It might feel good if you've been sitting all day or on your feet. And then we're going to go ahead and start to bend your left knee into your chest. Bring your right leg down towards the floor, but hover it. We're not going to let it rest. So let it hover. Feel the engagement of that lower belly. Squeeze the left knee in. Deep breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to switch. Draw your right knee in, straighten your left leg. Let it hover just above the floor. Feel the engagement of your core. I'm going to sneeze. I was going to give you a warning. Sorry, guys. And then let's switch. So we're going to switch back and forth, not fast. We're not doing aerobics. We're being mindful here of the core. Big breath in. Exhale, switch. Hug your right knee in. Extend your left leg. Breathe in. And exhale and switch. Squeeze. Inhale. And exhale and switch. And then let's go ahead and hug both knees in. Rock a little bit side to side. Bring the right foot down to the floor. Knee is bent and straighten your left leg up to the ceiling. So we're going to go ahead and do some little circles here with the left leg. Imagine that you're drawing a circle on the ceiling. And again, bring awareness to your belly and your left hip and just notice sensation here. So we're actually doing a little core work. We're also warming up the hip a little bit more. You can make those circles as big or small as you want. So maybe you're drawing pizzas on the ceiling, maybe you're drawing dessert plates. And then let's reverse the direction of your circle. And release, hug that knee back in, straighten the right leg. You can let the leg rest on the floor this time. And then bring your left foot to the floor, knee bent, and take that right leg up. We'll do the same thing on this side, drawing your circles. So notice if this hip might be tighter than the other, or maybe the first hip, the left hip is tighter. But you're moving femur bone in the socket. So we make these circles. You're engaging your lower abdominals. And then let's reverse and go in the opposite direction. And you're making your circles big or small. You decide. You may notice, I have clicking on this side. You might hear some strange noises from your joints, bones moving in the joints. And I wasn't counting on this side, so let's say that's it. Let's go ahead and hug your right knee in, straighten your left leg. Hug both knees in again. We're going to straighten both legs up to the ceiling. And we're going to come into a little more core work here. So I'm going to do one leg at a time tonight, just gently starting to lower your left leg slowly towards the floor and hover, just like we did with the bent knee. So let it hover, don't let it touch. And then you're going to inhale, bring that leg back up, and lower the right leg as you exhale. Inhale it back up. Exhale and lower your left leg. Arms can be on your belly. They can be out to the sides. And just going back and forth, but take your time. Move slowly. Make your abdominals work here. If you want something a little bit more, if this is easy for you and you want to make it a little bit more difficult, you can always do both legs at a time. I suggest if you do that to lift your hips up and place your hands underneath and then start to lower your legs towards the floor. So this takes the pressure off of your lower back, especially if you have any back pain. You can lower both feet and hover. Feel that definitely in your lower belly. Working that transverse abdominis. Of course, if this is too much, just do one leg at a time. But nice and slow. Again, we're not doing aerobics, we're doing yoga. We're being mindful about this, moving with the breath. And let's do one more. So if you're doing left and right, make sure that you end with a set. So we started with the left, so make sure you end with the right. Go ahead, draw those knees in one more time. Let's circle the knees away from each other. So taking one hand on each knee, push the knees away, take them out to the side and draw them back in. So knees are circling in opposite directions. Nice little massage for the lower back, stimulating the kidneys. And then reverse, go the other way. And then from here, go ahead with your knees bent. Bring your shins parallel to the floor. So you're going to, instead of drawing the knees into the chest, shins are parallel. Arms out to the side. They're going to help to anchor you. We're going to start to drop our knees over to one side. So I'm choosing the left to start. Hover, just like we've been doing. Don't let them touch. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the right. We're getting a little more into the oblique muscles here. Inhale to center and exhale to the left. And inhale to the center, exhale to the right. Now, as you're doing this, try to keep your shoulder down. Try to keep your left shoulder down when the knees go to the right. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Try to keep your right shoulder down. If it starts coming up, then take the knees back up. Don't go as far. So that's going to be sort of it's going to tell you how far to let those knees go. If they start going over really far and your shoulder rolls up, instead try to keep the shoulder down and bring the knees back up a little bit, if that makes sense. Take your time, move with your breath. Again, we're not running a marathon, we're noticing. Just being present with the movement. I don't care if you do 2 or if you do 200. If you're doing 200, you're still going to be doing this when we finish tonight. So I'm going to do one more on each side. I invite you to do the same or to continue if you really want to. Bring the knees back to the center. Hug them in one more time. Feel that nice compression on the lower abs. And release the feet back down to the floor and breathe. Let's one more time come back to that pelvic rocking. Inhale, press your hands into your thighs. Big breath in. Stay there. Exhale it out. Inhale. And exhale and release. Let's go ahead and roll to your side when you're ready. Start to walk your hands back up. And we'll come to table position. So if you want to some extra padding for your knees, go ahead and grab that now. Bring the knees hip width apart, the hands shoulder width apart. And let's go ahead and just stretch that right leg out, press through the heel. When you get there, look forward. Nice stretch in the back of the leg. And then bring that leg up parallel to the floor. Keep the foot flexed, press through the heel, engage your belly. Don't let your lower back go into a sway back. As you're ready, reach the left arm out. Hold. If it's too much on your right hand, you might try taking a fist. You might just keep the hand down and reach the leg, but feel your belly working here. And then bring it down. Other side, press the left leg back. Keep the toe on the floor first. Press to the back of the leg. Get that nice stretch in the back of your calf muscle. Then lift that leg up. Big toe points down. Reach through the heel. Take the right arm out. Breathe. Belly stays engaged. Remember, same thing applies. If it's too much on your left hand, make a fist, come onto your forearm, or just take your hand down. And release. Inhale, look forward, start to arch your spine. Exhale, and then start to round, bring the hips back towards your heels, come into child's pose. We're not going to rest here just yet. Inhale, come back up and arch your spine into cow pose or dog pose, some people call this. Exhale, draw the belly towards the spine, bring your hips back towards your heels. Moving back between those 2 points, inhale and exhale. Can you come back to that Ujjayi breath? Inhale, come all the way back up, tucking the toes. Let's start to lift the hips up and push into a downward facing dog. Now, if you're not into down dog tonight and you just want to stay in child's pose, that's just fine. Otherwise, lift those hips up, push the floor away. Get that nice stretch in the backs of the legs. You might even try taking your heels side to side, lifting the heels up. See how that feels in the hips. One thing I like to do is bend the left knee, turn the right toes out, push the floor away, lift those hips up. Feel that stretch in the right IT band, the outer edge of your right leg, from the hip to the knee. Release back to center. If you need a break, bring the knees down. Otherwise, bend your right knee, turn your left toes out, push the floor away, lift up. If you don't push in and lift up, you won't feel as much. So really stretching through the outer edge of your left leg. And then coming back to center, let's bring those knees down and take a little rest here in your child's pose. So knees together if you want a little more stretch in your lower back. Knees apart if you want to stretch in the hips a little bit more, which is what I'm feeling right now. You can always rest your hips up on a block if they're tight, or use the block for your head. Nice in the evening to put a little pressure there on the third eye. And then inhale, we're going to start to come back up. Tangled in my microphone cord. That's always a fun thing to deal with here. We're going to come into a lunge, right leg forward. So if you want to step forward from your table, you can. Just bring that foot forward. Or if you want to come back to downward facing dog and step your foot between your hands, whatever floats your boat tonight. And we are going to float a boat a little bit later in our boat pose. So knees in line with the ankle or a little bit behind. Coming to your lunge, look forward, stretch the front of the left leg, and then bring that knee down when you're ready. Breathe, look forward, lift up. And then taking your hand, your right hand to the right thigh, left hand to the block or to the floor. Let's take a little twist to the side. So looking to your right, keep your belly engaged. Just notice what that feels like. Maybe reach your right arm up to the sky. And exhale and bring that hand back down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, begin to straighten your front leg, shifting the hips back, drawing the big toe towards you. Inhale, lift from your sternum. So lengthen your spine. As you exhale, if you have space, maybe you bring the chest a little bit closer to the leg. Maybe not, right? You could be up on the highest level of your blocks here if you want, if you're practicing with blocks. You can also have your fingertips on the floor. And then start to bring the weight forward. Bring both hands inside that right leg now. Walk the right foot over to the right towards the edge of your mat. We'll come into a version of lizard pose. So you could stay here, lift it up, hands on blocks or hands on the floor. Stretching the front of your left leg and the outer right hip. Maybe you roll onto the pinky toe side of your foot. Maybe you come deeper and you come down onto your hands or onto your forearms, or even reach this right hand forward. Lots of options. But breathe here. So the only option you don't have is to stop breathing. Keep breathing. Find that steady flow of breath. Perhaps come to Ujjayi breath. And then lifting back up when you're ready. Bring that right foot to the floor if you were on the pinky side. Tuck your back toe under. Step back to downward facing dog or to your table pose. Nice little break in between. And then we'll step the left foot forward in between your hands or around the left hand. Bring the right knee down. Actually, let's pause with the knee up as we did on the other side. And look forward, shine your heart forward. Lift for your sternum. You can use your blocks if you want. And then when you're ready, place that knee down. It's nice to have that blanket there, but you don't have to use a blanket if you don't need one. So to look forward, breathe, feel that nice, big, deep stretch in the right leg. Oh, I love lunges. Probably one of my favorite things, stretching the front of that leg. I've been sitting all day, unfortunately. So it's a great way to open up the front side. Or if you drive all day. And then let's start to come into our twist. So left hand to the left thigh. Pardon me, because I'm going to turn away from you now. Right hand to a block or to the floor. Start to twist towards the left. Maybe you take that arm up to the sky, reaching the arms apart. Breathe. Notice it's not easy to breathe in twists. Exhale, that hand comes back down. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, start to shift the hips back now, straightening front leg, drawing the big toe towards you. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, and perhaps hinge forward a little bit more. Feeling the stretch in the front of your leg. No locking of the front knee. And then we'll start to shift the weight forward, walking the left foot to the left. Bring your both hands inside the left foot, coming to your lizard pose. Maybe we just pause here and this is enough for tonight. Or roll onto the pinky toe side, going a little bit deeper into the groin. Maybe you choose to come down onto your forearms. You could just kind of hang out here. Or even walking the left arm forward a little bit more. You decide what's right for you this evening. And breathe. As you're ready, walk the hands back, lift yourself up, come back onto the sole of your foot, walk that foot in a little bit, look forward. We're going to step the back foot forward. As you're ready, with blocks or not, tuck the back toe under, step forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and fold back in. Pause here. If you like to hang, you can hang. You can grab your elbows. You can sway a little bit side to side. As you breathe in, try to lift those hips up a little bit higher. Maybe start to straighten the backs of legs a little bit more. Exhale, bend your knees, sweep the arms out to the side, reach to the sky, and exhale, hands to your heart, coming to mountain pose. I'm just going to shift our camera a little bit for the standing posture so that my head is not cut off. That would not feel good. Removing the blanket out of the way. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. And then exhale over to your right. Keep your left foot planted. Nice half moon pose. Maybe look up to the sky as you open your chest. Inhale to center, exhale to the other side. Maybe looking up to the sky. And inhale back to center, exhale, hands to your heart. Breathe in, breathe out. Just a little bit more here. I think I can make a little bit more space. So from your mountain pose, let's go ahead and sweep the arms up. Exhale and sink your hips back into a chair pose. So take a moment, check your knees out. Notice if you tend to go more knock-kneed. If you do, you can take your hands to the outside of the knees, press the knees into the hands, and the hands are resisting. So hands are pressing in, knees are pressing out. Try to keep those knees parallel and hip width apart. If you don't have that problem, then you're fine. You can bring the hands to your heart or out, a little bit more energized. Feel that burn there in the hips, creating a little heat, maybe in the belly. Press down through your feet, inhale to rise, and exhale, hands to your heart. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, sweep the arms down and up, inhale. Exhale, come to sit in your chair pose, breathe. Inhale, and then exhale. This time we're going to forward fold, lift the hips back up. And press down through your feet, come back to your chair pose, hands to your heart. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to your heart. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time, sweep the arms down and up. Inhale, exhale, chair pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lift the hips a little higher. Exhale. Press down through your feet, bend your knees, sweep the arms to come all the way back up, and exhale, hands to your heart. From here, if you're not at the top of your mat, go ahead and come to the top of your mat. Step your right foot back. We're going to find a high lunge, bending the front knee. Find your balance. Lift from your sternum. Inhale the arms to rise. Feel that stretch across the front side of the body again, especially the right leg here, but all across into your abdominals, the side body, reaching. Can you reach a little bit higher? Maybe interlace the hands, stretch. You might even lean back a little bit if that's okay for your body. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Let's go ahead and turn the back toes open a little bit. So you decide the angle of the foot, but we're opening this right hip and then bringing the knee in line with your ankle. Inhale the arms to rise and reach through the fingertips to warrior two. Belly is engaged. Maybe we bend the knee a little bit lower. And then inhale, reverse that warrior, slide the right arm down, reach the left arm over your ear. Exhale, come back to center. We're going to bring the left forearm now to the left thigh, sweep the right arm over your ear, side angle pose. Stretching along the right side of the body. And then exhale, both hands down inside of your left foot, just like we did with our lizard pose. But now the right knee is up. Look forward. Maybe you may want your blocks, if you have blocks. I'm going to bring the right knee down to the floor again. So some of you may stay here. Some of you can bend that knee, reach back with your left hand, maybe catch that foot. And I'm sorry, I'm looking away from you. You'll be able to see me on the other side. So if you can grab that foot, drawing it towards you, looking back towards your foot. Breathe. If you can't reach your foot, maybe you're just reaching towards the foot. If you can't bend the knee, just stay in your lizard pose with the arms inside the feet. So when you're ready, you're going to let go. Try not to slap that foot on the floor. Gently let go. Lift that knee back up off the floor. Walk the left foot in and step the back foot forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hips back to the heels, chair pose. Inhale to rise and exhale, hands to your heart. Notice how you feel. I'm willing to bet the right side feels different from the left right now. From your mountain pose, let's step the left foot back. Find a high lunge on that side. Find your balance, engaging your core, engaging your lower belly. Inhale the arms to rise, maybe interlacing the hands. Reach up, maybe look up. Maybe you're even reaching behind you. So only if that's accessible for you. Almost into a little back bend. Steady yourself. As you're ready, we're going to open the arms into warrior two, opening the back foot to point out. Now, right away, check that front knee, make sure it's in line with your ankle. I know my back is to you. Normally, I would turn around, but when I come around into the lizard pose, I'm going to be facing you. So reach the arms, inhale up and out. Gaze over that forward hand. Keep your belly engaged. Core is firm. And then slide the left arm down. Reach that right arm up over your ear. Breathe in, reverse warrior. Exhale back to center. Bring your right forearm to your right thigh now. Elbow in line with the shoulder and sweep the left arm over your ear. Inhale. Feel that stretch along the side body. Exhale. Keep breathing. Find that breath. Maybe it's Ujjayi breath. Exhale the left arm down to the block or the floor. Turn your back heel up. Look forward. Walk both hands inside the right foot. Walk the right foot out to the edge. We're going to come back down to lizard pose. So as you're ready, bring that back knee down. Maybe you're going to stay here in lizard. Reach back towards that foot. You might be here. You might not be able to reach the foot. That's okay. If you can grab your foot, go ahead and grab it. Open from the sternum. And you may not need a block under your hand either. So we're all going to be different. We have different bodies. Be where you are. Great opening for the shoulder as well here. Hip and the shoulder. So as you're ready, we'll release that foot, but don't let it just slap down to the mat. Very carefully, gently release it. Go ahead and walk that foot in between your hands, and we'll just step the back foot forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Pressing down through your feet, inhale to rise. And exhale, hands to your heart. Breathe in, breathe out, and notice. From here, we're going to come to balance. So for mountain pose, I'm going to stand to face you. You can stay at the top of your mat. You can also use a wall space if you need it. You can grab a strap if you need it. We're going to come into dancer pose tonight. So rooting down through that left foot, engaging your belly, draw your belly in. We're going to start actually with stork. So let's bend the right knee and just lift that foot up off the floor. Feel the engagement of your core here. Inhale the arms overhead. Notice how that changes things. Exhale the arms down. See if you can grab that shin, slide the hand out to the foot. Start to bring your heel to your glute. And then inhale the left arm up. Maybe you stay here in baby dancer pose. Maybe you're holding a wall or a chair. Maybe you can reach I'm going to go sideways now. Maybe you can reach your hand around to the big toe side, right? Opening the shoulder again. And then pressing your foot into your hand, begin to lean forward as if you're offering a gift, right? To the dolphins in your pod or the dancers in your circle. And when you're ready, release it. Walk through those feet, maybe do a little heel toe. Shake it out. We'll switch sides. So pressing down, rooting down through that right foot, draw the belly in. Start to bend your left knee. Find balance here, stork pose. Inhale the arms overhead and notice how that changes things. Exhale the arms down, start to slide your left hand down the shin till you find the top of your foot and then draw that heel towards your glute. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you hold on to a wall or a chair. Maybe you reach the right arm up. You can stay here or take the hand towards the big toe side of your foot. Press the foot into the hand and begin to lean forward, offering that precious something of yourself to the world, whatever that is. And exhale, release. When you're ready, shake it out. Let's go ahead and roll the shoulders a couple of times. And coming back to mountain pose, bring the hands together in front of the heart. Inhale the palms to rise and exhale down. Moving through the shoulders a little bit here. That was a big stretch. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. One more time. Ujjayi breath. We're going to come back down to the floor now. So as you're ready, bringing the arms down to your sides. Inhale, reach overhead. As we exhale, we're going to swan dive down. Bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor. Step the left foot back and the right foot back. Come to a plank pose if you can, or bring the knees down if you need to and look forward. Finding core strength here. So if you're okay with it, walk your left hand forward just a little bit so the wrist is in line or a little before ahead of your shoulder. We're going to roll into the outer edge of the left foot and reach up to the sky. Into our side plank. If you need to come down to child's pose, that's fine. Do what you need tonight. Exhale that hand down. Walk the hands back. Come into downward facing dog or child's pose as a little breather, a little rest before we do the other side. And then walk the hands back forward to plank. Right hand a little bit forward of the shoulder. Roll into the outer edge of your right foot and lift that left arm up to the sky. Breathe. Exhale that hand down, coming back to plank. Bring the knees down, slowly lower onto your mat. Come down onto your belly. Rest here for a minute. You can actually stack your hands, rest your forehead. Let the feet or the legs come wider apart if you like. You can turn your head to the side if you like. Just rest. Feel your belly on the floor. And then as you feel ready, walk those legs back in. Bring your arms to your side. Rest your head on whichever side feels better for you. Roll the shoulders a little bit away from your ears. As you inhale, start to lift your head and your chest and your shoulders up. Maybe lift your arms up to reach through those fingertips. Tops of the feet down to the floor. Legs are together. Exhale back down. Maybe turn your head to the other side. Inhale and lift your head, your chest, your shoulders. Maybe lift your feet this time. Leave the hands down. Balancing on the pubic bone. Exhale back down. Maybe turn the head to the other side. We've got one more here. As you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift the head, the chest, the shoulders, maybe the feet, maybe the hands, coming into Shalabhasana. Perhaps interlacing the hands, squeezing the palms together. Breathe in, lift up a little higher. Come down when you need to, but if you're okay with it, stay here and take a couple more breaths. As you're ready, exhale the hands down, stack the hands, rest your forehead, or turn the head to the side, whichever is more comfortable for you. Rest your belly. And then slowly take your right hand to the floor. We're going to start to roll over onto the left side. Turn all the way over. Come to sit. So I'm going to face you guys. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to face you. I'm going to turn back around. Bend your knees and bring your feet in. Taking the hands behind you for balance. So we kind of started this way earlier. Remember we did our lifts? I'm not going to do that now. So draw the shoulders back, lift through your sternum. As you exhale, draw your toes off the floor. Feel the engagement of your lower belly. Start to lift one leg and then the other, finding your boat pose. See if you can take your arms out to the sides. If you feel like you're falling backwards, go ahead and hold on behind the thighs. Lift from your sternum. Let your heart shine forwards. Find your balance. And release, cross the legs, sit up tall. Pause here. We're going to do that again. Breathe. As you're ready, draw the knees together. Bring the feet back out, hip width apart. Again, you can start with the hands on the ground, or maybe you start with the hands behind the thighs. Lift nice and tall. Exhale, draw those toes up. Maybe lift one leg and then the other. Maybe we take the arms out to the side this time. Maybe we straighten the legs. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, feet down. This time, give yourself a hug. You can even round forward a little bit here, just relaxing your spine. So we're going to come into boat again with the option of adding a little twist. Really fun if you happen to have a block. You can hold on to your block if you're okay. Now, if you need the hands for support, then you're going to stay at the first pose coming into your boat posture. If you're okay with the arms out, let's challenge ourselves a little bit more. Why not, right? So we're going to deep breath in. Let's start with our nice lifted posture. Exhale, draw the feet up. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, you're going to take the arms to the left, feet to the right. Inhale to center, maybe straighten the legs. Exhale over to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. You could totally do this with your heels on the floor. Inhaling up, exhaling to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. You will still feel this working your core and working your oblique muscles. If you sit up tall, don't let yourself fall back. You're really going to get a workout even with the feet down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to center, exhale, release down. Oh gosh, that feels so good. Take the block away from you. I have some crazy insect flying around me. So crazy December. He must have come in from the cold today at some point in time. Let's go ahead and cross those legs again. Sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, walk your hands forward. If you can remember which way your legs were crossed at the beginning of your practice, maybe cross them the opposite way now. If not, don't worry. No worries. Just come into your forward fold. Feel the stretch in the lower back and the hips. Maybe as you loosen up a little here, you can release a little bit more. And then walking your hands back in. We get to come down onto our backs. Finally, you thought it would never happen. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Drop your knees side to side. I did a lot for the core, the hips tonight. Finding that stability. Our strong core, not just physically, but our strength and our ability to resist when the waters become turbulent, right, in our lives, in the world. Let's go ahead and walk the feet in. Allow your arms to rest by your sides. Perhaps start to straighten the legs, finding Shavasana. Feel free to roll a blanket under your knees or a pillow for your head. Or if Shavasana with straight legs does not feel comfortable for you, you're welcome to bend the knees, bring the feet as wide as the mat, and let the knees fall together. Find your position of rest and begin to allow your body to unwind completely. If you feel like there's any last minute stretch you need before you can rest, maybe just reaching the arms overhead and stretching one side and then the other, you're welcome to do that. And then find stillness. palms up if you want a little more energy, palms down if you need some grounding. Maybe palms on the belly. Find your breath. Find your heartbeat. Feel how the two work in sync to bring in oxygen and prana and pump it through your body. And the miracle of life that we are. Feel all the points of contact between your body and the floor. Feel your spine and your pelvis. Your center of stability and support. All the things that we carry in our life. Maybe on our shoulders, maybe in our hips. Maybe distorting our spine. Take a deep breath and imagine creating space between the vertebrae and your spine. And exhale and let go of some of that stuff that you don't need to carry. A lot of it's not even yours. Let it go. Breathe in space, spaciousness, and exhale and let go of weightedness, heaviness. Breathe in lightness, joy, connectedness. And exhale heaviness, despair, and grief. As you breathe, just feel the movement of your spine. Feel how the breath moves the spine. Notice the tempo and the rhythm of the breath begin to slow. Come back to whatever a normal rhythm might be for you. Maybe the body begins to chill a little bit. Notice the air temperature on your skin. Feel the breath as it enters and leaves your nose. Breathing in, imagine filling the entire body with breath. And exhale, letting go of anything else you want to release on your mat, in your practice. Notice the edges of your body. Becoming aware of where the body ends and the space around it begins. Breathing out to those edges. As you exhale, gently start to bring some movement back into the body. Wiggling fingers, toes. Maybe taking a bigger stretch when you're ready, reaching the arms out to the sides or overhead. And exhaling and drawing everything back in. Slowly start to roll over to your side. Take time to pause there. Feel the support of the earth beneath you and feel your connectedness to the earth and to all life. Take a moment to honor that connection. And gently, as you feel ready, walk yourselves back up to a seated position. Our practice tonight blew my light out. I don't know what happened. So here we are, sitting in the darkness. I thank you for practicing with me. Honor yourselves for taking this time out of your day for self-care, for self-awareness. It is so important. Self-care is not a luxury. This is a necessity in these times so that we can bring our gift to the world, so that we can be more mindful of our connection to others. Take a deep breath in and lift your heart into your hands. Exhaling, bowing forward, acknowledging that connection. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. I hope you'll join me for future classes. Have a great night.